Professor Joe Bob Briggs here with week 6 of Joe Bob Summer School's Cinema Studies 101. We're here in Baltimore, Maryland on our second field trip of the semester at the home of the great writer, producer, director, John Waters. And he'll be joining us shortly while we watch his big crossover hit movie, Hairspray. And I hope I can talk him into letting us stay and watch American Graffiti with him, especially since I believe the portable classroom is getting towed for being illegally parked as we speak. Tonight, we are studying Baltimore as the film capital of the world. Now, Baltimore could really be considered the capital of the world when you look at who's come out of this town. One of my favorite writers, H.L. Mencken, novelists like Dashiell Hammett and Upton Sinclair, musicians, Billie Holiday, Mama Cass, Rick Ocasek, Philip Glass, Frank Zappa, and of course, Tony DeFranco. A heartbeat is a love beat. Cleopatra Jones is from here, Tamara Dobson, the actress, plus Michael Tucker from L.A. Law, Josh Charles, who debuted in Hairspray, Parker Posey, and the great David Hasselhoff. Athletes like Babe Ruth, and people we don't know what category to put them in, like Montel Williams, and Johnny Eck, the famous half-boy, measuring in at 1'6". But this is cinema studies, so let's stick to film. The two paragons of Baltimore cinema are John Waters, who has filmed every single one of his films here, including Hairspray, Cry Baby, Pecker, and the film that established his cult reputation, Pink Flamingos. And the second world-renowned Baltimore director is Barry Levinson, who is right now following up his Baltimore trilogy of Diner, Tin Men, and Avalon with Liberty Heights. However, let's not forget the filmmakers whose movies are so universal that we forget they were shot right here in Baltimore. Guys like Don Dohler, whose work includes the 1977 classic The Alien Factor, about a spaceship containing specimens for an intergalactic zoo that start mutilating people when they crash on Earth, with the most authentic performances since The Legend of Boggy Creek, in my opinion. Don also made Fiend, about a reanimated corpse who moves into the suburbs and tries to keep his activities a secret from his nosy neighbor. And, of course, The Galaxy Invader, in which an alien menace terrorizes a bunch of rednecks. Then there's Lee Bonner. Besides directing episodes of the Baltimore-based TV show Homicide, he made the renowned Adventure of the Action Hunters in 1987. I believe I was the only critic in America to give it a favorable review, but anyway, many films set in Washington, D.C. are shot in Baltimore because of the similarities in architecture, movies like Patriot Games and No Way Out. But how can you talk about those without mentioning the 1994 film, you know what I'm talking about, Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf, starring Ed Wood alumnus Conrad Brooks as Conrad Brooks, and Bob Haynes, who made the 1985 film Blood Circus, in which aliens come to Earth to fight has-been professional wrestlers. And no wonder Baltimore is the film capital of the world, with an accent so thick it sounds like a foreign language, and waterfront bars filled with hillbilly truck drivers who come to cruise the half-finished transsexuals pumped up on estrogen who hang out between medical appointments at Johns Hopkins. My kind of town. Let's start our first flick and continue our cinema class with John Waters at the break. Hairspray is the early 60s high school musical about a dancing chubster, played by Ricky Lake, who misbehaves her mama, played by Divine, to become a pro-integration cha-cha and teenage idol. 4 stars. Check it out, and the Joe Bob Briggs dancers will be providing brief lessons as we go along. And I'm not giving it 4 stars just because I'm in John Waters' house. Does John even know we're here?